It's the Mr. Marty Show.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. We're so glad you're here. You're gonna meet people that you didn't know. Yeah, they're friends on the Mr. Marty Show. Oh yeah, welcome to the Mr. Marty Show. Got so much to share. We need you to pull up a chair. Gonna give you some joy, fill you with good cheer. You're gonna let out a cheer. Yeah, on the Mr. Marty Show. On the Mr. Marty Show. It's a Marty Show. Marty Show on the Mr. Marty Show. On the Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. Mr. Marty Show. Marty Show on the Mr. Marty Show. 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 Bang!
I'd like to come back as a million roses in the spring. In the gardens you'll find me blooming, a million roses in the spring. To make right a life of sorrow, make right a life of pain, bring some joy for tomorrow, a bit of sunshine after the rain. A million roses, a million roses. I'd like to come back as a million stars in the sky. On a quiet night you'll gaze in wonder, a million stars in the sky. To tell you it's all worth it, to tell you to go on, bring some joy ragged road. The love that was so fleeting never laid me low. I'd like to come back as a child safe and sound, and the love that I'll be given will be the love I never found. A little child, a little child, a million stars, a million roses.
Hi, Mr. Marty fans. Ma Gilmore here once again. November. Today we're talking about the best advice I ever had in my life. The first thing that came to mind, because there's many things of advice that I've been given, was Polonius's quote in Hamlet. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow the night, the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. To me, this means that follow what is in your heart. Follow what is right. Don't be blurred by those who speak out and talk ill of you. To thine own self be true. Do not talk about others. To thine own self be true. Follow that path that you need to follow. Follow the righteousness within yourself, within your soul. To thine own self be true. I've tried to do this many times in my life. I've faltered on occasion, as so many of us have. But it always comes back to thine own self be true. When you greet another man or woman, remember, treat them as you would have them treat you. To thine own self be true. Way back when I was about 12 and we visited one of Mom's oldest friends, he and his wife had brought money into Mom's talent show, her kids' talent show, radio show. And one thing that they said, so many people wait for their ships to come in. And so many people haven't even launched them. To me, that meant when you feel something that you need to do, you need to act on it. Because the results can't come back if you haven't pushed forward to do what you need to do. Don't wait for those ships to come in when you haven't launched them. Launch them now, no matter how old you are. I'm being seen here on YouTube. Never would I have thought that that would be in my life. But I launched into it. And now I can be true to myself. I'm an actor. Not only an actor, but I'm a mother. I'm a person who wants peace, who really feels that there has to be peace. So I'm saying, be true to yourself, launch your ships so that you can bring that great rewards back to you. As always, I'm dreaming of peace. I'm putting forward a peaceful note. May it be peace in this world. And as I wish you peace, you wish it to other people. And so may it be. Ma Gilmore here. Peace.
A Million Roses is a powerful, foot-thumping, heart-pumping, down-home Americana album, filled with beautiful lyrics and that sweet tenor voice of Martin McCormack. Also featured is the legendary string master Lloyd Maines with his amazing skills on the pedal steel, dobro, and guitar. A Million Roses is available for download on November 17th on Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes, and your favorite music site. Support independent music and get your download of A Million Roses out of the chute on November 17th.
Welcome to McCartney Place, a little cul-de-sac in the township of Scone, New South Wales, Australia. My home is in a corner of this cul-de-sac and was built 3 years before my husband and I bought it. That was 38 years ago. The block of land was still quite bare, and the driveway was dirt. A few shrubs out front had been planted by the previous owners who had built the house. They also established a rockery against the end wall of the house facing the street. What a difference now, over the years, have trees made to both front and back gardens. They're all deciduous, so the 4 seasons create a different picture throughout the year. In this featured front garden, the shrubs and plants are at their best at this time of the year, late spring leading into summer. Agapanthus, near the letterbox, will be flowering by Christmas, owning their other name, Star of Bethlehem.
Martin McCormack has been painting up a storm for his second annual holiday greeting card. Two for Joy features a pair of spirited magpies flying above a snow-streaked mountain forest. These 5x7 limited edition greeting cards are sold in sets of 15 for $29.99, shipping included in the U.S. Let Marty's magpies and their sprig of hollyberries carry glad tidings to your loved ones this season. Order online today at martinlawrencemccormack.bandcamp.com. Click on the merch button to place your order. You can also order through the link in Marty's newsletters now through December 31st. Happy holidays from Marty Fine Art.
Here we are at one of the institutions of Rogers Park, and this is a place called Rogers Park. And as you can see, this is the place where you bring your beloved pet to get groomed, have their nails trimmed, and get those special little extras to make these dogs the most pampered dogs in the city of Chicago.
I'm Heather Wilson.
You're the owner of?
Yes, Rogers Park.
Rogers Park. And how many years have you had this place?
So I think May will be 6 years. I'll be the owner. I'm actually the third owner. Of this business.
And what got you into this business?
So I actually started as a bather when I was 15 years old with my aunt. And I started washing dogs for her, and then over the years, she taught me how to groom, and then I learned how to groom through her.
And so you're no longer open, but here you are, you're carrying the tradition on. But what is it about grooming dogs that you like?
I think the one thing that I like about grooming dogs is it's hard work, so it's rewarding. You feel, really good at the end of the day that you worked hard, if that's what you like to do. And then it's also really special that you create bonds with the dogs, and they look forward to seeing you, and you look forward to seeing them. So I think just, making them feel their best is really rewarding.
Very neat. And is there a typical kind of dog personality that you guys come across here? They all seem nice, but...
Every dog has their own personality, and every breed has their personality type as well.
Okay. I want to make sure that this dog's personality is not getting in front of Heather's face. Let's take a look.
As I'm hiding back here?
Yeah, so here's Capers in the before mode, ready to get her beauty treatment. There we go. Say goodbye, Capers. How do you start when you start grooming a dog?
So they always get washed first because we want to work on clean dogs. Our tools are very expensive, and they work best with a clean dog. So if we were to groom a dog that was dirty, the finish wouldn't look good.
Okay.
So you always wash and dry first. So our bathers are, definitely the start of making sure a dog looks their best, so we can do our best.
Okay. Here is my groom master, not me personally, but for Capers, and this is Val. And Val, you've been working with Capers now for almost a year. Mm-hmm. And what are some of the tricks of the trade?
I think one of the most important things that groomers that is helpful to groomers is being honest and communicative with the client. So if there's ever an issue with the dog, I'm always very honest with the client about what's going on with them, and trying to figure out a haircut that works for both the dog and the client's schedule is really important too, to make everybody in the salon happy, the owner, the dog, and the groomer.
Is it like cutting human hair in the sense that your feet get tired at the end of the day, that sort of thing? I always hear hairstylists saying, you know, gosh, I have to do it on my feet.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard job. We have to get in really awkward positions, especially when we're dealing with, let's say, a larger senior dog and we have to help give them support. Look at you. She's yelling at you. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's funnier than hell. I gotta show her. And there she is.
How is it possible you're from here?
Really have a welcoming kind of vibe, I think, and that's why I like bringing capers here, is I feel like you guys are just really concerned about the dogs looking well and the clients being happy.
Yes.
So now where can people find you guys? I mean, up here I see we have the website. What is it?
You can reach us at rogersbark.net.
Very nice, rogersbark.net. Well, Heather, so great talking to you, and Frank, you're in very good hands. Stop.
Say thanks, Frank.
You're turning your head away from me, Frank.
Hey, yes! Look at you! Oh, yeah.
And now, 30 seconds of cue.
Hi, I'm Marcus Gentry, and this is another mindful moment in the rocking chair. I was asked this time to talk about the subject of what is the best advice that I have ever received. I started off thinking about a lot of different things that I've heard over the years, and then there was one message that started to stand out more than anything else. I think it probably came from my mother, maybe my father, but I think mainly my mother. And here was that message that I have discovered now in this last quarter of my life, that this is probably the most valuable thing I've ever been told. And that was, be quiet and listen. Listen. And I understand that now to mean listening up. And I've learned now that, you know what, that's rare. That's a dying skill. People don't have the ability and the willingness in some cases to want to listen. And I say listen up, which means listen with intention of understanding, listen by being present, and listen by paying attention. So many distractions going on that people aren't always listening. And if I think of the advice that stands out the most, that's it. Because listening is powerful. Listen to our bodies. Because, you know, I talk about the philosophy of respect, right? And the guiding principles of respect for self, others, the environment, and process. Thinking about respect for self, listening to ourselves, listening to our heart. What does your heart tell you? What does your mind tell you sometimes when you know that maybe you shouldn't eat that other piece of cake, or you shouldn't do something, or you should do something, and you hear that inside, but sometimes we don't pay attention, and later we say, I should have listened to I should have listened to my first mind that said I shouldn't have done this or that. Listening, so powerful. Listen to our bodies. When our body says, we need to lay down, get some rest. Maybe we need to get up, move around. We need to eat more, we need to eat less, we need to sleep more, sleep less. We need to get out and get some fresh air. Listen to our body. There's an intelligence inside of us that will lead us in a good path if we're listening with the intention of understanding and paying attention. How about listening to others? Isn't that a big one? Listening to others. And that means not only just being quiet, verbally and not talking, but listening with the intention of understanding when someone else is sharing something and not running dialogue in our head. So sometimes we're not talking, but we're still running dialogue in our head, figuring out how to overcome what they're saying or win the conversation or argument or something. Shh. Be quiet and just listen to what someone else is saying with the intention of understanding. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that someone else says, but at least listen, because we might learn something. When we learn how to listen, we start to discover that everyone is a teacher and can teach us something. That everything that happens, if we listen to that, it can help us learn better ways to live our lives in the best manner. Listening to others. Listen to our environment. What does our environment say? Take a minute, just a second, because I don't have a long time to talk, right? Take a minute, look around your physical environment, your home. What is it crying out to you? What does it say? Your environment, wherever you are right now, look around. What does your environment say to you? If it could talk and you listen, what would it say? You need to relax here. This is your home. You need to move. You need to clean up. What is your environment? You need to add, you need to take away. What does your environment say to you? Listen with the intention of understanding, pay attention, be present in the moment. So much more, as you know, can be said about listening, but that sums up the best advice I've ever heard is just to listen. Listen with intention of understanding, pay attention, and be present. My name is Marcus Gentry, and this has been another Mindful Moment.
then attack with more of snow, really, just to give it the feeling of Christmas. And as you can see, I'm just kind of, creating the contours of the mountains, and know exactly. I roughly followed what I saw in the picture, but these, I'm taking my own take with it. And really, again, when it's viewed from a distance or in completion, it's going to look beautiful. I think the birds are going to stand out. That's the big thing. I just want to make sure that my birds fly. And with that, that's about as far as I'm going to go with the mountain line. Here's another perspective. Look at how that changed. Isn't that cool? So now I'm just going to do a light, I'm losing my daylight here, so I'm going to do just a light brushing of white and touch up the mountains all the way across the board. So let's give this an inspection here. I think pretty much I'm accomplishing what I want to do. Lightening up the mountains behind the birds, and just got a little bit more of muting to do kind of in this section. And just a little more highlights, mute highlights. Get the clouds a little more. Start in on the forest, which is going to come in here. A little bit faintly green. And then the pine trees, which will be taking shape down below, right here. It's going to fill up that section. So here I am with Anya, and just wanted to do a little progress report here. As you can see, I'm kind of getting where I want to get with the trees. I want to gap it a little more because I got to put in bushes, I got to put in deadwood, all sorts of detail. Plus I got to put in a little clue to what next year's card is going to be. So a lot of fun, a lot of work still to go. Hey guys, Anya had a nasty cold this week, so I am going to do the thanks for watching the show song. It's been years, it seems, since I've done it. But I wanted to take this time to express my appreciation to everybody who works on the Mr. Marty Show and makes it happen. We are a worldwide group of people. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And I also want to thank you people that are watching this show, because you're part of that community too. And I hope you feel that as we share the simple things of who we are and what we aspire to do and what inspires us, what resonates with us. And that's what this song is all about for all of you. Even though we may never meet face to face on some distant street, I consider you a friend of mine for being there and taking the time. This world needs more community, a place where our humanity is there for us to celebrate a fun and appreciate. Thank you for being on the show. You work so hard so everyone knows they're not alone. We're here for you every week with all we do. Until next time, do take care. Spread the word now, dare to share. There's a place where we all can go, and we call it the Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. The Mr. Marty Show. Thank you for watching and working on the Mr. Marty Show. Show. Good night.